SSLFamilyDad with Simple Suburban Living, and today we are going to be building a couple raised bed gardens. And there's a lot of videos out there doing this type of thing. I just thought I'd show kind of my take on it and how we'll go about building these. I'm kind of sick of buying lumber, so I'm trying to find a free way or extremely cheap way of building a couple little raised beds that will look decent. And I was able to find some pallets at a local industrial area in town here. There's a couple businesses that had some stacked out back, and I asked if I could take a few, and they were more than happy for me to take them because they just throw them away. These were used to ship parts and things like that. Looks like they have some oil on them and some grease and stuff, so we'll have to clean this wood up, and I may even put a little piece of plastic on the inside of the wood here just so we don't have any weird stuff seeping into the raised bed, but they'll work. And so basically the process that I'm going to do here and things that you'll need if you are doing something similar, I've got a circular saw, hammer, little screw gun, because a couple of these have some screws in it I'm going to take out, measuring tape, and a pair of pliers or channel locks. And so I'm going to run my circular saw down and just cut those boards right off so I don't have to pull all those nails out. Do the same thing on this side, and then I'll just have to pull the nails out of this middle piece to get these pieces of lumber here. There's some nice big pieces here. I may rip those down to 4 inches, or I may even save those and just do a big piece on each end, because I'm going to do 3 foot by 6 foot raised beds. So these will work great on the ends, and then I can use the smaller pieces along the sides. So so that's kind of the process that I'm going to use, and I'm just going to try to get as much of this wood out here as I can, and get it kind of all ripped to the same size, and use the best pieces. I'll sand it down and try to make it look as nice as I can, and we'll put it together. So I'll kind of take you guys along here and show you the process of building the 3 foot by 6 foot raised bed gardens. What we've ended up with from the 3 pallets. I've got 2 9-inch pieces over here. Those will go on each end of the bed. I have 16 4-inch by 36 inch. Those some of them are longer. I have to cut them all down to 36 inches, but I've got 16 4-inch boards, and I have 20 3-inch boards. So that actually is almost enough to do 2 3x6 boxes. Depending, there's a couple pieces in there they might split if I start screwing in them and stuff like that. And then I'll use these pieces here for the tying things together and supporting the corners and stuff like that. So should have just about everything I need. Maybe one more pallet, we should get it. Alright, so I've got all the boards cut to 36 inches, so each of these are 3 feet long. I've got some 4-inch boards, like this one here, 4 inches wide, and they're all 3 feet long. And then I have some that are 3 inches, so just whatever would work out, that I could get a good piece of wood off the pallet. So what I'm doing here, because our raised bed is going to be a total of 12 inches tall, I just kind of coupled these together. So here I've got 3 4-inch pieces to get my total 12-inch height, and then on this side of it I'm going to have 4 3-inch pieces to get my total 12-inch height. So they're both going to be the same height. This is just going to be one side of it. This will be the other side of it. They'll look a little different, but that's fine. As far as the bracing goes, I just took, these are the center pieces of the pallet that I cut out of the middle of the pallet there, the supports. And so there's some that kind of look like this and some that look like this. So I cut these 14 inches so that we're going to have a 2 inches extra sticking out of the bottom of it, and that way I can help kind of stick this in the ground a little bit and bury those supports so that it gives a little bit more strength. So it's still going to be 12 inches off the ground, and this little stub here will stick into the ground. I'll just dig a little hole there and bury those. So I put these flat pieces in the middle underneath so that I can run some nails in and tie these together. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one here, and then I use these kind of awkward looking pieces on the ends. And so this just goes right underneath here, and then I'll use that to tie that together. Once we get these two side pieces together, we're going to stand it up and put each end on. Now I'm just using some nails to secure this. Honestly, it'd be better to use screws, but again, I'm trying to do this free, so I just happen to have a bunch of nails around that'll work just fine. I am putting a couple screws in the end just to make sure that everything holds together really well, but for majority of it, I'm just using some nails. Alright, so once we've got both of the sides put together here, as you can see, I've got kind of see what the inside of it looks like here. So this is our center support that ties the two 36-inch boards together in the center here, and then I've got our corner pieces here that'll kind of tie the end to the sides. So the next thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to screw a support here in the middle, and this is just going to go from that center brace here on this side to the center brace here on the other side. And what this is going to do is just kind of make sure that once we get this filled with dirt that it's not going to bow or anything like that. This is kind of the weakest point when we're pushing outward with dirt, is at this joint here. So I'm going to tie this together with some screws, and this will also help kind of hold the box rigid while I get the ends put on. So once I get that done, I'll put that onto the ends. Now the ends of this are just made out of a couple more of the same things. I've got some 4-inch by 36-inch boards here, and I actually had to scrounge these from another pallet because I was just a couple shy. So they're a little different color, they look a little newer, but they'll work just fine. On the other end of it, I've got some 3-inch slats here, and so these ones will make up the other end of the box. So I'm going to go ahead and get all that tied together here, and we'll show you what the finished product looks like. Alright, so I've decided that I wanted to add a little bit of a border on the top of these boxes. So when I was out scrounging for pallets behind one of these warehouses, I got permission to dig through their pile of wood out there, and they had these nice, they're about 4.5 inch, maybe by 3/4 inches thick boards here, about 8 feet long. So I'm actually going to rip these into 2-inch strips, and then just do kind of a mitered edge corner on each side, and just kind of put a little border around the top of each of these boxes. I think it'll just make it a little bit nicer looking from the top angle of the box, and it won't cost us anything, and it shouldn't be too hard to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get these ripped down, and then I'll show you how we're attaching them. Here cut off at a 45-degree angle. I don't have a miter saw right now, so I'm using a skill saw, which doesn't always make a perfect 45 just because of the way the blade is. So I used a belt sander to just kind of smooth these out a little bit and make the corners fit together nicely. And I'm just going to go ahead and set all these on, and I'm just using a finishing nailer here with some 1.25 inch finish nails to tack this down in place, which should hold it just fine. So we're all finished with the boxes here, and I got all the trim on both of the boxes, and it really secured it up real nicely, so it makes the box a little bit more rigid. And then with this brace in the middle here, these are pretty strong, so I've been carrying them around and flipping them all over the place, and they don't budge. So real strong little boxes. So this project was, again, 100% free. There was zero cost involved here. I did have, I used some nails in the nail gun, but I already had those, so if you have some nails laying around, you could easily put the trim on without using a nail gun. But real easy project. Again, 100% free. If you just look around town, look at warehouses, look at manufacturing places, they always have pallets to give away. They're usually throwing them right in the landfill, and that's one of the things I really like about this project, is that, not only they do look rustic, they look like they're made out of pallets, and they're supposed to. But we save these from just getting thrown away in the landfill. So we saved a few trees from getting cut down, I suppose, to make new lumber, and save some space in the landfill. And these will work real good for our raised beds here. So one of the things you could do to make these look a little bit nicer, if you're putting them out in a front location or somewhere landscaping around your home, you can sand these down, or if you have a planer, run each one of these boards through a planer, and stain these up real nice. You could throw a solid priming stain on these as well, right over the top of it, and these will look, whatever color you want. So you can make them look however you want to. I chose not to do that because I didn't want to spend any money on stain, and also I like the kind of rustic look of them. So I think these will look pretty nice here in the backyard. We're going to be planting square foot gardens in these. If you're interested in kind of figuring out what that is or how we're going to be doing that, I'll have some videos coming out about that as well. But hopefully this gave you some ideas, and to do something like this at your own home. So thank you for watching. If you have comments, throw them in the comment section. Ideas, suggestions, or questions. I do monitor the channel regularly. Give the video a thumbs up, please, if you enjoyed it or found it interesting at all. And again, thanks for watching. Have a good one.